Guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reacting to what happened to YouTubers who were exposed as predators. Alright, let's get into it. And by the way, it's Blanco.
Remember last year when it felt like a ton of YouTubers randomly just got exposed for being predators? What was the deal with that? Why did so many creators randomly just get exposed for trying to link up with kids? At this point, it's not a thing that just happens every so often. It's a very, very big problem in the community. Like if it was just one or two creators in the grand scheme of things, that would be one thing, but it feels like this happens all the time. And while a lot of those creators were held accountable and exposed, did anything actually happen to them? Some did lose their careers, some had setbacks, but others just had their careers almost entirely unaffected. What happened to the creators who did get exposed for being predators, and did they really get what they deserve? Let's cut the bullshit and get right into it. Let's start with the story that was heard around the world, EDP 445. This is a story that a lot of you are familiar with, but I'll recap it just in case. EDP, which is short for Eat Dat Pussy, was a sports commentary channel who was a very, very big fan of the Philadelphia Eagles. He posted tons of videos where he gave his very unfiltered thoughts on the sports team. The way he would talk, it was like as if he didn't know that millions of people were watching his videos, which is really funny. Over time, he gained over 2 million subscribers from just these raw rambles. Whether you were a sports fan or not, there was a very good chance you knew him because he was the face of so many memes.
It's showtime!
But this all came crashing down in 2021 when he was caught trying to get with kids. Well, sort of. On April 18th, 2021, the YouTuber Chet Goldstein hosted a sting operation where they set up a decoy to talk to EDP. This decoy was pretending to be a 13-year-old girl where they would message him back and forth. These messages were very, very gross, not even just on top of the fact they were sexual, like he even sent poo pictures to her, and I'm not gonna get super into it, but you get the gist of it. Now, they operated a sting operation where they were going to give EDP a cupcake, and when he fell for it, they confronted him.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home. There was, nothing that was going to be sexual involved because I'm not like that. Well, obviously the text messages and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Yeah, that was all that was.
This was one of the most talked about pieces of content drama ever. Like, no one could stop talking about this because it was just so sad. Like, EDP was one of the very few authentic creators who really did not seem to care that much about views. Yet, in the dark, he was like this really, really fucked up guy. EDP's channel was immediately terminated by YouTube, and basically overnight, he lost everything. So, what happened to him after this? Well, it's not very good. Well, by the time this event occurred, EDP basically had content be his full-time job. Even though he wasn't really getting a lot of money from monetization, he was still able to make a good bag from cameos, sponsorships, and merch. The thing is, usually that money kind of tends to stop coming in when you get exposed for trying to get with kids. So pretty soon after, this screwed him over. He got tons of reports over on the Cameo site which swiftly got him banned, even though it was unlikely he was going to get any requests now. From here on out, he tried hopping from platform to platform to platform, but would get banned every single time. He went to Facebook, got banned. He went to Instagram, got banned. He even went to Vimeo, got banned. He even went to a random third-party website to upload videos called 3Speak and also got banned from there. Not even they wanted him. But he was not going to give up. On May 2nd, 2 weeks after the ban, he announced that he was going to make his own website to post his own videos there. And it was so weird because the way EDP was presenting himself, it was like he wasn't even aware of the allegations and the drama. Like, he just kept going on with the show as if nothing happened. He would post a video on Facebook addressing the whole ban, but basically just blamed all the YouTubers who exposed him.
Chet Goldstein, or should I call you Alex Rosen? Whatever the fuck your name is, my nigga, whatever the fuck you prefer to be called. Here's the thing, my nigga. Let me go ahead and holler at you for a quick second. See, I've been making videos for coming up on 11 years now, my nigga. You feel me? I've been in the game for a cool-ass minute. I've seen punk-ass, bitch-made, hoe-ass motherfuckers like yourself come and fucking go.
Now, the YouTubers who did expose him are controversial in their own right, but that's not the point here. This response somehow made it even worse when it was already just so bad. And the website that he planned on making never came into fruition because he had a problem with the developer. Legal action was never pressed on EDP EDP, although there probably should have been. YouTuber Master at Work revealed from a close source that EDP was extremely scared of being searched because he said in his own words that if they were to search his electronics, he'd be fucked. This hinted at the fact that EDP had some pretty scary material on his devices. A warrant would require them to search his phone and laptop, and if you didn't have anything that wasn't illegal on there, then why would you be scared? And the same laptop that EDP was so scared of being searched was the same one that he said he used strictly for porn in one of his videos. So, who knows if that porn's actually legal or not. But now that his career was over, he had to find some new way of getting income. He seemed to be slowly desperate for a new career to get on, because at one point he registered his name with the FEC to try and run for governor in California. I have no idea why I thought this was a good idea, or why I would go far at all, but it was no surprise when we did not see his name on the ballot in the election that year. But then again, it is a pretty popular choice amongst pedophiles to try and run for political office, so makes sense. After his failed political career, he moved from California to Nevada in a new apartment building. However, he was kicked out after a woman recognized him at the pool, and after he allegedly was hosting invites in the community boardroom and was claiming that he was a dog whisperer and also trying to give dogs treats. It's very, very strange. By this time, EDP only had $3.3 thousand in his bank account, and it did not seem like the money was going to be coming in magically. But the trolls also were not going to make it easy for him to get a new job. He would get various jobs at a trucking company and at a fast food place, but these would only last a few days. A video would surface of him being a Lyft driver, and pretty soon after, he also would lose that too. Eventually, he would do a live stream begging for people to leave him alone, but they were not going to do that anytime soon. In 2022, he would start streaming on the app Bigo to the very few fans that he had left, and he somehow was able to actually create a TikTok account. At the same time, he tried to legally change his name so that he could finally avoid the trolls, but this also did not seem to go through. He eventually did launch his website edp445.com, but that got taken down. He would start to slowly post on YouTube, but only through old accounts that he already created. But once he started posting, he would immediately get banned for ban evasion. And if this wasn't bad enough, he would get exposed again for grooming a high school girl. The day after this, EDP posted a video where he claimed that he had stage 5 kidney failure. And for those that don't know, if this isn't treated, it can kill you in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, I actually do have kidney failure. Stage 5. It was something I was trying to keep private, but you know, that fucking bitch leaked out a lot of information, so I have to go to dialysis in the morning and all that bullshit, so.
The weird coincidence of this announcement made it seem like as if he was posting for sympathy, but it did seem legit, and it was only going to get worse from here for him. In 2023, EDP's TikTok account, which had over 300,000 followers, was banned. This was also one of the very few ways that he was able to make not just income in general, but income on social media. 2 years after the incident on March 18th, EDP had the audacity to post a video claiming that the sting operation was completely false and it was simply just training for acting. No idea how he thought this would work.
Oh, it's simple what fucking occurred. I was set up. You know, there's nothing to sit back and try to, you know, conscrew or try to, you know, make it look like something different than what the fuck it already was. Like, I was set the fuck up, period. You know what I mean? And it's total bullshit, bro.
He would later post an actual apology video, if you want to call it that, because in this video, he never really apologized to the victims and clearly left out several details.
I want to take full responsibility for my actions that happened on April 21st, 2021. The entire YouTube shit that went down, the entire YouTube incident, you know what I mean, that went the fuck down. I'm not even going to get into it. You guys already know what the fuck happened. I'm taking full responsibility, full accountability for my actions.
Even after losing everything, EDP still had not learned jack. Because in December of that year, Gideon posted his own sting operation on EDP, just like how the last guys did. He fell for the trap again.
Oh, bro. Yeah, man. Real shit, dog. Like, you guys can't feel here, man. It's a dialysis center, man.
Well, Brian, I am with the Predatorial Investigation Unit, and I just want to let you know.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
You know,
this is not a fucking joke, man.
I'm just seldom at a loss for words. You know, 2 years ago, you were caught
kiss my ass, dude.
In 4K trying to meet a 13-year-old, and
really,
I'm not talking to you.
Why? Really, my nigga, this is bullshit, man, that y'all pulling right now?
Well, Brian, I just want to know, why do you think we're here?
Fuck you, man.
If you could guess, Brian, why do you think we're here?
Was this surprising? No. Was it disappointment still? Yeah. Even though this video was removed because of guidelines, the damage was still done. Not that he had anything to lose from it, or so we think. But first, this video is sponsored by Raycon. You've definitely seen these guys being sponsored all the time, and honestly, I get the hype. Raycon's earbuds have become a go-to gift for the holidays. They sound great, they have 32 hours of battery life, and they are super comfortable. Over 4 million people have a pair of these bad boys, so if you've been curious to try them, now's the time. For Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you can get 30% off on all Raycon products. It's the perfect gift for a loved one or for keeping it yourself, which is what I'm doing. Best part, they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee, so if you try them and you don't like them, you can just return them. Nothing to lose. I use these all the time when I'm at the gym or taking a walk or cleaning the apartment. It's important to go outside and touch grass, so you might as well listen to something good and high quality while you're doing it. I have severe ADHD, so the noise cancellation feature on these really helps me lock in and focus on what I need to get done. Like I said, Raycon is going hard for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, up to 30% off on everything. Just go to the link in my bio or go to buyraycon.com/blanco to get up to 30% off on all Raycon products site-wide. Now, back to the video. In 2024, EDP still, after everything, tried to create channel after channel after channel. He would create the channel The Infamous EDP where he would post random rants about women and stuff. And at one point posted a video about other predator catcher channels claiming that they were only doing it for clout. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these predator catchers actually do have a problem, and I'm gonna make that video another day, but definitely the right message but wrong messenger. This channel, unsurprisingly, also would be deleted. As of right now, it's not really known what form of income EDP has, if he has any at all, but it seems he's never learned from his actions and most likely never will. And he is not the last. In 2024, we saw a slew of creators getting exposed left and right. The first one on this list being associated with the biggest YouTuber of all time, Mr. Beast. Ava Chris Tyson was the most talked about YouTuber for nearly a month after it was revealed that she was texting kids. Before this, Ava was the longtime best friend of Mr. Beast. She literally was with Mr. Beast back when he was filming videos on his crappy iPhone camera and could barely even afford equipment. As time went on, Ava stayed with the video, adding tons of love to the videos as they got better and better and better. When the channel hit big, Ava was a fan favorite amongst viewers of the content. The same way you had a favorite character in a TV show, people had their own favorite crew members of the Mr. Beast channel, and Ava ranked pretty high. However, this changed a lot after Ava announced that she was trans, changing her name from Chris to Ava. Now, the members of the channel did support this, including Mr. Beast himself. A lot of the fans felt indifferent and didn't really care, but there were definitely a decent amount of fans who just did not like this. Some of them argued that in doing so, that she was abandoning her wife and kids, even though there wasn't really direct proof of that. Some people felt like this was going to destroy Mr. Beast's channel, even though it did not do that. The channel was fine, the content kept improving, and the views kept going up. But then, the truth came out. Lots of Ava's past came back to bite her in the ass. Specifically, really weird tweets where she would post about cartoon characters that were underage. One thing that fans noticed was that she posted a piece of artwork that was made by the artist Shadman. Now, Shadman is extremely controversial because he drew a very, very sexual picture of Keemstar's young child daughter. So purchasing art from this artist was wild. But it's not just that. The very artwork that she bought was categorized as lolly, which basically is just artistic CP. That's the best way I can describe it. Don't Google it, just take my word for it. This was already bad, but the real kicker was when she was exposed for texting an underage kid. Some of this was very public, with Chris engaging with them on Twitter, even calling them dad. There also were screenshots of her sending some very, very weird Snapchat messages. And at one point, she even met up in person with the kid, who was 16 at the time. Now, this is a pretty big deal. Another person who was in Discord with Ava at the time would also reveal that this was true, and that Ava was pretty weird in the Discord chat. A lot of the Discord messages were leaked, and a lot of this was very, very gross. Initially, Ava already had a pretty bad reputation for a personal choice, but this was just flat out criminal. At least from what we know, there was no sexual activity that happened with anyone that was underage, but all of these messages were definitely very, very strange and constituted more as just some jokes. Ava definitely was acting inappropriate with these kids. So what happened after? Well, Mr. Beast spared no time in addressing the drama and saying that Ava was completely removed from the channel and all of the content, no being featured in videos, on social media, and even had her own signature Beast Burger from the menu being removed. She would address it herself on Twitter, but not really admit to any grooming. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. I want to add, I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations at Lava GS is vocally supported that they are false. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at MrBeast, which is why I have stepped away. A few months later, he announced the investigation was concluded and that all the accusations were completely baseless. And this was from multiple interviews from multiple employees. Now, some people view this as the whole "we investigated ourselves and found nothing wrong" type of thing, but in terms of evidence from what we've seen, there wasn't really any. So what happened to Ava? Where is she now, and is she maintaining a career? Well, this whole entire thing was really the last time anyone heard from anyone Ava publicly. Ever since the controversy, there hasn't been anything on Twitter, Instagram, nothing. What she's doing with herself is anyone's business. Considering that she worked for MrBeast and was his best friend, it's pretty safe to say that she's well off financially. If she takes the money and puts it to the side and puts it in reasonable investments, then she should be set for life. Staying low is really the smart move for Ava because there's really nothing else to do in this situation. She got what she deserved and was removed from her platform, and now she has to deal with it for the rest of her life. But the same thing can't really be said for Dr. Disrespect, who basically did get away with it. Dr. Disrespect was Twitch's prodigy in the late 2010s and into 2020. He was this bombastic persona who was relentlessly savage and unfiltered with how he played the video games. His signature style of this long wig and sunglasses and this vest really made him a household name. So much so that in March of 2020, he signed a multi-year contract with Twitch. It seemed like the start of something great that would be amazing for content, but then he was just banned out of nowhere. One of Twitch's biggest stars just gone instantly. No explanation, no nothing. No one would give a direct reason for it, not even the doc himself. He would start streaming on YouTube and gained a platform there with over 4.7 million subscribers. And while fans still got the content that they loved, they didn't really understand why it was that he was banned on Twitch. It just didn't really make any sense. You don't just ban one of your platform's biggest stars because you feel like it. But nearly 4 years later, an ex-employee from Twitch would spill the beans that he texted a minor and was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. He got banned because he got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain sight. Case closed, gang. And while there was technically no proof to back this up, it did seem to explain things pretty well. After all, why else would he be banned? Fans were desperate to hear an explanation or a response from Dr. Disrespect, but they didn't really get much of anything. When another creator posted about the situation, the doc responded himself saying this: "Jake, seriously, I get it. It's a hot topic, but this has been settled. No wrongdoing was acknowledged and they paid out the whole contract." This literally explained nothing. The doc would try to address it himself, but again, wasn't really giving much of an explanation when he did. Listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since this is the fucking internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. Elden Ring Monday. This helped a little bit more, I guess. Glad to hear that he was paid. I was really concerned about that. But this extreme attitude and not really explicitly saying that he didn't groom or text anyone was only further proving that he definitely did that shit. And he tried to go on as normal, but then out of nowhere while he was on stream, his own company dropped him. On Friday evening, we became aware of an allegation against one of our co-founders, Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved. And in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we needed to act. For this reason, we are terminating our relationship with Guy Beam immediately. Right at the time that this was tweeted, Dr. Disrespect announced that he was taking a break from streaming just out of pure coincidence for feeling burnt out. Although eventually, he came clean. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind those messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened, no pictures were shared, no crimes were committed. I never even met the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. It was so weird to try and see him keeping up this whole character and alter ego while trying to address a very serious thing. So what happened after all of this went down? Pretty soon after all of this, YouTube demonetized his channel, and in the span of just a few weeks, he lost over 100,000 subscribers. He lost a ton of brand deals and definitely slightly went down in viewership, but did his career officially end? Well, I wouldn't really say so. A little over 2 months later, Dr. Disrespect would return to streaming to try and address the backlash in some sort of way and to keep his career moving. When he did address it though, he didn't really ever admit to any bad doing.
Cody Connors? You see, You don't know shit, and it was obvious from your tweet. You didn't have any firsthand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting a minor through Whisper's messages? Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is? I do. And yeah, I used Twitch as Whispers, but trust me, I wasn't sexting anyone. Let's set the record straight. I never intended to meet this user ever. We never made plans to meet at TwitchCon or anywhere else, and in fact, we never met in person ever.
This stream became his third most viewed stream ever with over 3.2 million views. Obviously, this is more because of the controversy, but the fact that he was still getting this high of viewership was pretty crazy. At first, he tried to get remonetized from YouTube, but was denied. His revenue definitely took a big hit considering that he wasn't with his company anymore and he was no longer monetized. And I can't imagine a lot of branders wanted to work with this guy. Ever since then, his subscriber account has not increased. In total, he's lost nearly 300,000 subscribers. However, in terms of the streams, his numbers weren't affected that badly. In comparison, his views maybe only went down 20 to 30%. A stream for Dr. Disrespect on average can get somewhere between 300,000 to 400,000 views, which is still quite a lot. But since those streams aren't monetized, that's not very helpful. But that was until another company reached out, Rumble. He announced he signed an official deal with Rumble where he would stream exclusive content on their website and got equity in the company. Now, even though Rumble is basically just a last resort streaming site, it still has a market cap of $2.5 billion. So it is objectively a successful company. This deal was worth money. And it seems that it made YouTube pretty jealous because in January of 2025, his channel will get remonetized just like that. And while he may have lost some certain revenue streams, it kind of just seems like his career is back on track. Say what you want, but for the most part, he got away with it. He never got arrested with a crime, he never got charged with anything, and his career is back to normal. Now, the thing is that with all these careers that I've talked about, they all share the fact that even though they had the intent to get with kids, none of them, as far as I know, have been proven to actually do anything physical with kids, if you know what I mean. For all we know, a lot of this is really just really inappropriate messages and other type of things. But what about the creators who actually went through with it? The creators who actually did the disgusting deed? Well, this is what happened to Cody Co. Now, you're probably aware of Cody Co in both good ways and bad. Cody was one of the most popular commentary roast channels. He basically was like the frat boy version of Danny Gonzalez and Drew Gooden. He basically started a whole new wave with these really raw reaction videos, specifically the That's Cringe series. Over the years, he started an entire empire, building his main channel, his side channel, a podcast. All his channels combined nearly had 10 million subscribers. But then, he got exposed. In 2024, Tana Moja was on tour when she got asked a particular question and she gave a response that raised quite a lot of eyebrows. Now at first, maybe this answer seemed harmless, but then fans did the math. If Tana and Cody did hook up at this time, that means Tana was 17 and Cody was at least 25. And that also means this happened in Florida, where something like that is legally constituted as statutory rape. Now Tana would clarify this on her podcast and talk about it.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime. I grew up loving him, and I think you know what I mean? Like, I was just like excited and a fan.
You think something like this between two big YouTubers would get quite a lot of attention, but it actually did not at first. It went completely under the radar until D'Angelo Wallace would make his own video talking about it. He covered the entire situation, pointing how Cody was successfully trying to cover it up.
All right, Cody, let's have an uncomfortable conversation. Someone has been alleging for years now that you, one of the largest commentary creators on YouTube, knowingly committed a crime against her when she was a minor, but YouTubers and viewers alike are ignoring and discrediting these allegations solely because the person making them happens to be an unlikable woman online, Tana Mojo. And you know that people are ignoring this because nobody is working harder to bury this story than you. And you're getting away with it because commentary YouTube has a serious problem. I can't blame any of your viewers or my viewers for not hearing about this because you've done such a good job hiding it up until now that I only found out about it recently.
Now this caused tons of scrutiny against him, obviously. And this put Cody in a position unlike any other because he was kind of screwed no matter what. If he responded to this and apologized, he basically admits to statutory rape, which could get him 15 years in jail. He could try and deny the allegations, but that would only make things worse because it did not seem like as if he was innocent. There's also the third option, which is basically just to ignore it and hope that it blows over automatically. It's not a great option, but it's an option, because for Cody, that is what he did. For months, he didn't post any videos, nothing on social media. He went dead silent. silent. His wife even turned off all of her comments on social media to avoid the hate. The only time he was seen was when he did a DJ set, which was like a part of something that he was doing for a different video in the past, acting like as if nothing happened. What seemed like overnight, his career and brand just completely got destroyed. The thing was that by this time, Cody's fan base was actually extremely female, so this really hit hard. So how did he address it, and how did things move forward? Well, he played his cards very carefully. He was not in a rush to address it in any way. The very first way of responding was actually where he announced his departure from the TMG podcast, but he didn't really address it himself. It was actually directly posted on the TMG website, but like in the feed section. Like, it was placed in a way that was extremely inconvenient and hard to find, kind of like intentionally. As we enter this next phase of the studio, we want to let you know that Cody will not be involved in day-to-day operations at TMG Studios. What has transpired over the past weeks is a personal issue for him, and Cody wants to remove any effect that it's having on your professional and personal lives and the work you and our other hosts have done to make TMG Studios so successful. Noel will continue to lead the team. His top priority remains the life and growth of the studio and its talent. Our audience sees your hard work every week, and we want that to continue. They deserve it, and so do you. We have built something truly special, and he's committed to keeping that alive and well. Sincerely, Cody and Noel. No surprise that this was happening, but the fact that they addressed it in this sort of way was pretty crazy. Like, it was very obvious they were trying to secretly post it to ease their way in, rather than just flat out being honest. The TMG podcast would continue without Cody, but still no questions were really answered.
What's up, everybody? Before we start this episode, I want to start by saying thank you for just how supportive and understanding you all have been, and patient above all. And understandably, a lot of you want to know what I have to say about everything that's happened. And the reality there is that I'm not in a position to speak about the situation. And at this point, really, the thing I have to focus on is how to move forward.
For over half a year, Cody did not post on his channel, but he would come back in a similar way that the podcast announcement was made. Oddly enough, it would be on his training channel of all things that only has around 250,000 subscribers. In December 2024, he posted the video 34 miles talking about his running progress like as if nothing has happened. He would address the situation at the very end, but kind of like not really.
It's time. It's time to really commit to this. I'm going to have to commit to this training schedule, and I'm going to have to commit to potentially losing some weight so I can get faster, and the whole thing just scares me. But I want to vlog it. I want to vlog the whole process, just like I did for Ironman. Being creative, doing this type of thing, and putting it out there, it's just in my DNA. I need to do it, and so I'm going to do it. Obviously, I understand I've been offline for months, haven't made videos for, that whole time, and I also understand if your opinion of me has potentially changed over the last few months. I spent the first half of my career criticizing people and judging people online. So, I don't begrudge your judgment of me by any means. I just think all I can do right now and moving forward is just try to be the best person I can be for myself and for my family, and just try to continue putting the best shit out there that I can. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you stick around to watch it, I very much appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, truly. And so that's the plan. 3:30 marathon in March, hopefully. And you're going to see the process. So I will see you soon. And choo-choo.
Blood turned into a train at the end. Choo-choo.
He doesn't explicitly say it, kind of just lightly touches on the topic in a very vague way. This way he doesn't confess to a felony while also being able to technically address it without really addressing it. After a couple months, he started posting on his channel just like normal. However, to this day, he has not posted on his main channel or on his podcast channel, and he's still not a part of TMG. It's safe to say this mostly ruined his income because it really did a lot of damage to his reputation, and right now his main sources of income really aren't on his big channels anymore, and he's definitely not getting as many brand deals as he used to. His side channel does still get views though, but definitely not nearly as much as how they used to get before this. It wasn't just the crime that ruined Cody, it was the fact that he wussed out and didn't take accountability for anything. He really just believed that it would magically go away, and it kinda did, but not really. He lost a big chunk of his audience that he will never get back. Thought it would just go away magically, but that's not how it works, pal. So what do all of these have in common? Well, for the exception of EDP, the ones that we just talked about really all have the fact that a lot of these events happened between 2017 and 2018, over 6 years before they actually got exposed. When this all happened, it was a much different time on the internet when people weren't really being held accountable for their actions as much. And it was also a much more difficult time for victims to actually come forward. Most of the drama that really happened on the internet was really just over stupid stuff that would be forgotten about in a couple months. These cases all happened back when people weren't really paying attention. But times have changed, audience have matured, and now we actually care about the things that really affect people's lives. It's important to remember to hold the people accountable with the biggest platforms, because if they get away with this stuff, then who knows who else can get away with it.
I agree with him, honestly. But yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Oh my god. Peace out, homies. Alright.